Hello, and thanks so much for joining me today. This is Jeff Bird, and this is the Encouragement Corner. And today we're going to be continuing our series on love. The love talks. Last week we talked about love being patient and how that requires surrender. For me to be patient, it requires that I surrender something. Often it's a removal of something bad or difficult or the attainment of something good. But I have to surrender that. I have to go, okay, hey, I'm just trusting for this, for the right thing at the right time. I'm giving up my right to it, and I'm going to be patient while I wait for that. Patient with myself, patient with the people around me, patient with God's timing. Today, though, we're going on to the next description of love, and this is from 1 Corinthians 13. It's commonly referred to as the love chapter. It's often quoted at weddings, but it says that love is patient and love is kind. Love is kind. So what comes to your mind when you think about kind? Maybe I was just thinking about that a minute ago, and the image that came to my mind was of, grandma. Just, when you come to her house, she wants to bring you to the table and feed you or give you some cookies or some cake she just made or something. It's like she's kind. She wants to do something for you that way. And maybe she's giving you something that's really good for you, or maybe it's not that great for you. But my grandma used to just always give sweet stuff, sugar-laden stuff. She'd be at the stove with a kettle, just stirring with a hot tea, just stirring in sugar, as much sugar as she could saturate that mixture with, and she got it hot so that it could contain more sugar. Sugar, not the best thing for us. But when we look at that word kindness, what it actually means, what it derives from, is something that has the idea of usefulness. Usefulness. So think about that. When especially when we're responding, or when we're just even thinking about what to do, are we thinking, how can I really be strategically useful in this situation? Both pleasant, yes, we know it has the idea of pleasantness, but not just like patting somebody on the back, telling them what they want to hear, but being useful to them. Being useful to a situation, being useful to their growth. Kindness comes from a root that refers to the flow of a mother's milk to her newborn child. So it's useful for nutrition. It's useful for growth. It's useful for the betterment of the child, the development of the child. So that's the idea behind kindness. It's not just being nice. It's not just saying what people want to hear. It's not just, and it's not something that just immediately comes out of me. It's like I have to think about it for a minute and be strategic in my response. It's not just an emotional response of, what do I want? What's best for me? That's what I usually think like, is just, okay, well, what's my reaction going to be based on what I want to get out of this? How do I want that person to respond? How do I want this situation to work out? How do I want this to be? And so I often emotionally respond from that if I don't stop and think, how do I respond strategically to add value to this situation, to this person in front of me, to myself, to be useful in this? How do I think that way? So that's what kindness really means. So my thought for us all today and this week is that when we're coming into situations, especially one that's a little bit challenging, a little bit difficult, it's like, how can we respond more kindly? How can I take a minute and ask myself, okay, how can I be the most useful that I can be in this relationship, in this situation? How can I really be useful instead of just doing whatever I would naturally do? So that's when we're being the most useful, we are being the most kind. So to follow last week, if you remember, without surrender, there is no patience. Without patience, there is no love. So without usefulness, there is no kindness. And without kindness, there is no love. So in order to be loving, we have to be kind, means we have to be useful. We also have to be patient, which means we have to be surrendered. So, wow, these things are challenging. I didn't take this series on because it was just something I'm great at. Hey, we're all learning and growing together. So, thank you for tuning in. I hope that you will think about this and take this to heart in the situations and the people that are in front of you, the situations you're in, and that you'll think, how can I be the most useful in this situation? Because when you're doing that, you are being kind, and you are being loving. And that's what we're made for. It says that there's only two things that God wants from us. One is to believe that He sent Jesus to take away all the old person that we were, and that now we're this new person, and He wants us to be like He is, to learn how to live out of the new person, and that's loving. Believe and love. Those are the only two things. And so kindness is a part of that loving. So may we all grow in and develop in the kindness. Please feel free to leave a comment or drop a note there on how you're wanting to, what situation you're wanting to be more kind in, how you're wanting to grow in this. And thank you so much. I appreciate you tuning in. And until next week, God bless you.